There comes a moment in everyone's life when the world suddenly stops feeling random. When things you once blamed on luck, fate, or bad timing start revealing a pattern. And in that moment, you finally see the game for what it truly is. You realize that life isn't a mystery. It's a strategy game operating on invisible rules you were never taught. The people who win aren't the smartest or the strongest, they're simply the ones who learned the rules early. And the moment you see them for yourself, everything changes. You start noticing how people behave, why some succeed effortlessly while others struggle, why certain conversations open doors and others close them forever. You begin to understand that every interaction, every opportunity, every setback is part of a system. Not a conspiracy, not manipulation, just patterns that were always there but you were too distracted to notice. At first, this realization hits hard. You start questioning your past, wondering how many mistakes you made simply because you were playing the wrong game with the wrong strategy. You realize people were not lucky, they were intentional. They didn't stumble into opportunities, they built them through habits, discipline, relationships, and timing. And you start to see how often you were emotionally reacting when you should have been observing, planning, and choosing your moves with intention. Life begins to look like a chessboard, not a lottery machine. Every person you meet reveals their strategy through their actions. Every setback becomes a lesson instead of a punishment. And every decision suddenly feels heavier, more meaningful, because you finally understand the ripple effect each one creates. But the truth is, seeing the game isn't comfortable. You start noticing manipulation disguised as kindness, distractions disguised as entertainment, and traps disguised as comfort. You see how society pushes people to waste their time, emotions, and potential on things that don't matter. You see how comparison, fear, and insecurity are tools the world uses to keep you playing small. And once you see this clearly, you can't unsee it. The illusions fall apart. Fake friendships feel obvious. Lies stand out instantly. People's intentions, good or bad, expose themselves through patterns you never noticed before. It becomes nearly impossible to ignore what you now understand. And then something powerful happens. You stop being controlled by the game and start controlling your position in it. Instead of reacting emotionally, you respond strategically. Instead of seeking validation, you seek improvement. Instead of waiting for opportunities, you create them. You cut off what drains you and invest in what grows you. You begin to move differently, speak differently, think differently. People call it changing. But in reality, you're just playing consciously for the first time. You stop wasting energy on things that don't move you forward. You stop letting people's opinions control your choices. You stop surrendering your peace to temporary emotions. This shift changes everything. And finally, you reach the most liberating stage, detachment. Not coldness. Not apathy. Just clarity. You no longer take things personally because you understand everyone is playing their own game. You no longer fear failure because you realize every failure is simply a move that teaches you the next one. You no longer chase people, approval, or attention because you see how pointless it is in the larger strategy. You move with calm confidence, not desperation. You understand when to speak, when to observe, when to act, and when to walk away. And that's when life stops feeling like chaos and starts feeling like something you can shape. Seeing the game for what it truly is doesn't make life easier, it makes you wiser. And that wisdom is what separates people who drift from people who rise. Because once you understand how the game works, you stop playing blindly and start playing to win.